Hello and welcome to Camping Out. In this lesson, I'm going to be talking about different opportunities for camping, things to look out for in camping, and ways to get started on going on your first camping trip. First off, I want to start off ask if anyone has anyone ever been camping before. Camping is an extremely great opportunity for going out and enjoying nature and getting out and see your surroundings and just getting away from the normal daily routine of life. There are many health benefits that come with camping. Camping has a way of increasing your oxygen intake since you are around a lot of trees. Your body indulges and takes in more oxygen. This can increase an oxygen level can improve your blood pressure, your digestive system, and your immune system, which can help you feel better. And when you feel better, you're going to have more fun. Which leads to the next part. Camping can also make you feel happier. Spending time outdoors lowers your body's melatonin level, which is the melatonin is a chemical that makes you feel tired and induces depression. So if your level goes down, then your happiness is going to go up, which is something that we always want to see. And also, camping is a great way to lower your stress. It's a good way to get away from your daily hustle and bustle around the city or wherever you live, and to get away from that environment is always good. It's a mental reset for your biological clock. And also, a final thing that a health benefit of camping is a great source of exercise. Camping is an activity that requires a great deal of physical activity, whether it be setting it up or just being out in the outdoors. You're able to move around more than you would at your normal job, and you get to use all your different muscle groups. And it's plenty of health benefits that come with exercise. You live a healthier lifestyle overall. So here I'm going to tell you on some top picks for ways to pick a good camping site. You always want to pick a flat area. You don't want a place that has sticks and stones and stuff all over the place, because you're not going to be sleeping comfortable at night, because wherever you pick a campsite, you're going to be sleeping on it in the end. So you want to make sure you have a nice flat area. Also, you want to pick a spot that's a fair amount of shade, because in the early morning, the sun can become very hot, and most tents are made of nylon, so it can be very hot on the tent. So you want to make sure that you can find a way to escape the heat during the day. Also, another great tip is to check your surroundings when picking a camping site. You don't want any hazardous risks around you, such as animals or being too close to the edge of a water source. Especially being too close to a water source, because there's many animals that come there to feed and get their water. So you don't want to be involved with them, because it could be a risk depending on how dangerous the animal is. A final tip for picking a spot is to have some privacy. You go on camping to get away from everything. You don't want to be around other people most of the time, because they could take away from the experience and everything like that. So you want to make sure you have a nice subtle area to yourself. Now we make sure this is for safety. You want to make sure you're prepping for weather. So you got to make sure you check your local weather forecast before you go camping, so you have the proper equipment with you, proper clothing, everything that goes with that. So you make sure you're having a fun time while camping, because if you're all wet, you're not going to have a very good time. Weather can have a direct effect on your campsite, so that's why it's a good idea to pick a good area. So if you're on a slant and you're on a flat area, you're gonna drift down. You're either the tent is gonna maybe flip over or something like that. The wind could blow it over, or the rain could actually mess up the ground beneath you. So it's better to look ahead and better be safe than sorry. Which on the last part I touched on a little bit ago was the waterproof clothing is very important. You want to be dry and comfortable during your whole entire camping trip. Another part is proper waste disposal. So the nature is something so important that we want to make sure we protect it when we're out camping. We don't want to leave a mess or anything along those lines, so it could possibly harm animals or the wildlife around it. So we want to place all our food scraps and waste in a sealable plastic bag. This will hide the smell of the food, which will not attract animals to your campsite. Because if an animal comes to your campsite, they could possibly eat it, or it could cause you harm. So you want to make sure you're watching out for that. Any paper or cardboard trash that you've accumulated can burn in a safe fire pit. This is important because it's less of you to lug back with you, and it's also a safe way of disposing of it. But other products that have materials like foil plastic should not be burned, because they release toxic chemicals in the environment. Human waste is also a big concern when camping, because you don't want to contaminate water sources that are attracting nearby animals as well. So make sure you're disposing of your waste properly, which is number one, or number two, just make sure that you're not leaving it behind, or you're disposing of it properly, or taking it with you in a bag or something like that. It's important to leave your campsite the exact same way you got there. You must leave no trace. Okay, now I'm going to get into how to set up a tent, because I want to show you guys a good way to set up a tent, because it's not a difficult process, but it's for a first timer it may be confusing, so I want to give you guys a heads up on it. So first you want to do is take all your equipment out and you want to unroll your tent. So you can see in the left picture we have our spikes, in the center picture we have our metal poles, and on our right picture we have our unfolded tent. So next there's on each corner of the tent, there's where you place the spikes. You can see the little red spikes. You want to place the spikes in the ground, and there's these little tiny pieces that you attach to the poles, and they're going to crisscross across the tent. And then when you lift it up, it's going to, in the next picture, it's going to perfectly cross across the tent. So as you can see, we crossed it now, and we have the center pole put up. And when we put the center pole up, it connects the two sides together. And that's important, so it forms the arch over the top, which makes the tent all seamlessly come together. And these brown pieces are connectors. That's where you're going to tie the tent to, so it stays up and the whole time. And the final thing we're going to do is we're going to add the rainproof tarp to the top of the tent. This is good, especially for weather. You don't want the wet coming in your tent, ruining all your items and everything like that. So you're going to attach that and put it over the top and hang it to the bottom of your tent. There's many camping opportunities that PA state parks allow. There's a first-time camper program, which allows families to experience camping for the first time. Your family pays a set price, and they provide all the camping supplies for a 2-night reservation at the park. And there's the link for that, so you can get started with that. There's also a camping reservation system where groups of families have the opportunity to reserve a campsite in most state parks throughout PA. You can call or schedule reservations through the link below. There are many also educational properties at Washington Crossing State Park. They offer Boy and Girl Scout camping, which allows them to reserve a camp at the spot and indulge in the nature and the history and everything that is involved at Washington Crossing Historic Park. There's also on-site educators, which they educate on numerous different outdoor activities, whether it be kayaking, bird watching, fishing, camping. They do a lot of different things along those lines, and you can learn a lot from the educators up there at Washington Crossing. And finally, it leads us to events and programs. They have numerous events every month. It's a great way to pick up new knowledge or just to get out and indulge in nature. And you should definitely something you can take advantage of. I just want to thank you all for watching my lesson. And I'd love to see you guys go camping real soon. Thank you very much.